In 605 BCE, Babylon under King Nebuchadnezzar laid siege to Jerusalem, marking a pivotal moment in ancient history. The conquest led to the exile of the Jewish elite, including young nobles and royal family members, to Babylon. This period of captivity would test their faith and resilience in unprecedented ways. The narrative begins during the third year of King Jehoiakim's reign in Judah, when the powerful Babylonian Empire was expanding its influence across the ancient Near East. Among those selected for deportation were the most promising young men of noble birth, chosen for their intelligence, education, and physical attributes. Among the exiles, Daniel stood out for his exceptional qualities. Born into a noble family of Judah, he possessed not only physical excellence, but also remarkable wisdom beyond his years. Together with his three companions, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, Daniel faced the challenge of maintaining his Jewish identity while serving in a foreign court. The Babylonian officials, recognizing their potential, gave them new names. Daniel became Belteshazzar, while his companions received the names Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Despite this cultural assimilation attempt, Daniel remained steadfast in his convictions, demonstrating extraordinary diplomatic skills while preserving his religious principles. In the imperial court, Daniel and his companions faced their first significant challenge when presented with the king's prescribed diet. The royal menu, consisting of rich meats and wine, posed a conflict with their religious dietary laws. This seemingly simple matter of food became a test of their principles and wisdom. Daniel, demonstrating both diplomacy and conviction, approached the chief official with a respectful proposal. He requested a 10-day trial period during which they would maintain a simple diet of vegetables and water, rather than consuming the king's provisions. This alternative would allow them to honor their religious commitments while fulfilling their duties to the court. The official, though initially hesitant due to fear of the king's reaction, agreed to this temporary arrangement. At the end of the 10 days, Daniel and his companions appeared healthier and more capable than those who partook of the royal diet, validating their commitment to their principles through observable results. King Nebuchadnezzar was troubled by a dream that none of his wise men could interpret. In an unprecedented demand, he required his advisors not only to interpret the dream, but to describe it without being told its contents. When they failed, he ordered the execution of all wise men in Babylon, including Daniel and his companions. Upon learning of this decree, Daniel requested time from the king. After seeking divine guidance through prayer with his companions, he received the revelation of both the dream and its interpretation. The dream revealed a massive statue with a head of gold, chest and arms of silver, belly and thighs of bronze, legs of iron, and feet partly of iron and clay. Daniel explained to the king that the statue represented successive kingdoms, with Babylon, represented by the golden head, being the first and greatest. Each subsequent section represented future kingdoms of decreasing strength, culminating in a divided kingdom represented by the mixed iron and clay feet. The dream concluded with a stone, cut without hands, striking the statue's feet and growing into a mountain that filled the earth. The interpretation demonstrated not only Daniel's divine connection, but also his diplomatic skill in delivering a message about the temporary nature of earthly power to an absolute monarch. Following his dream's interpretation, Nebuchadnezzar erected a colossal golden statue, commanding all officials to worship it at designated times. While Daniel's role during this event remains unrecorded, his three companions faced a severe test of their faith when they refused to bow before the image. Their refusal to compromise their religious principles enraged Nebuchadnezzar, who had previously shown them favor. When brought before the king, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego remained resolute, stating their unwavering commitment to their God regardless of consequences. Their response, both respectful and uncompromising, further inflamed the king's anger. Nebuchadnezzar, in his fury, ordered the furnace heated 7 times hotter than usual. The 3 men were bound and cast into the flames, fully clothed. The fire was so intense that it killed the soldiers who carried out the execution. However, to the king's astonishment, he saw 4 figures walking unharmed in the flames, describing the 4th as having an extraordinary appearance. This demonstration of divine protection, led Nebuchadnezzar to acknowledge the power of their God and promote the three men to higher positions in the province of Babylon. Despite witnessing multiple demonstrations of divine power, Nebuchadnezzar's success led him to dangerous pride. While walking on the palace roof surveying the magnificence of Babylon, he attributed all his achievements to his own greatness. At the height of his self-exaltation, divine judgment was pronounced. The king experienced a profound transformation, losing his rational faculties and living in a debased state for 7 periods of time. During this ordeal, he was driven from human society and lived in the manner of a wild animal, his appearance becoming unkempt and bestial. His condition served as a stark demonstration that even the most powerful ruler remained subject to divine authority. After the appointed time, when Nebuchadnezzar acknowledged the sovereignty of the Most High, his sanity and position were restored. This experience led to a fundamental change in the king's character, resulting in a public proclamation acknowledging the supreme authority over all earthly kingdoms. Years after Nebuchadnezzar's death, his successor Belshazzar hosted an extravagant feast for 1,000 nobles. In a display of profound disrespect, he ordered the sacred vessels taken from Jerusalem's temple to be brought forth. The king and his guests drank wine from these consecrated vessels while praising their pagan deities. The revelry was abruptly interrupted by an extraordinary occurrence. A human hand appeared and began writing on the palace wall. The sight of this mysterious manifestation immediately transformed the atmosphere from celebration to terror. Belshazzar's face turned pale, his knees trembled, and his composure completely abandoned him. The king's reaction revealed the stark contrast between his outward display of power and his inner insecurity. He immediately called for his wise men and astrologers, promising great rewards to anyone who could interpret the writing. However, none of his traditional advisors could decipher the mysterious message. The queen, recalling Daniel's previous service to Nebuchadnezzar, recommended him to the king. This recommendation would set the stage for one of the most dramatic moments of prophetic interpretation in the ancient world. When Daniel entered the banquet hall, he faced Belshazzar with remarkable composure. Before interpreting the writing, he delivered a powerful rebuke, reminding the king of Nebuchadnezzar's experience and denouncing Belshazzar's deliberate sacrilege against the Lord of Heaven. The mysterious words written on the wall were, Mene, Mene, Tekel, Upharsin. Daniel provided their grave interpretation. Mene, God had numbered Belshazzar's kingdom and brought it to an end. Tekel, the king had been weighed and found wanting. Paris, his kingdom would be divided and given to the Medes and Persians. Despite the ominous nature of this prophecy, Belshazzar fulfilled his promise, bestowing upon Daniel the position of third ruler in the kingdom. However, the prophecy's fulfillment was imminent. That very night, while the words still echoed in the palace halls, the Persian army, having diverted the Euphrates River, entered Babylon through the riverbed. Belshazzar was slain, and his kingdom fell to Darius the Mede. Under Darius's administration, Daniel distinguished himself through exceptional service, leading the king to consider appointing him over the entire kingdom. This prospective promotion aroused intense jealousy among other administrators and satraps who began searching for grounds to discredit Daniel. Finding no corruption in his conduct, these officials devised a sophisticated political trap. They approached Darius with a proposal designed to appeal to his sense of authority. A 30-day decree stating that anyone who petitioned any god or man except the king would face execution in the lion's den. The officials presented this as a way to establish Darius's supremacy over his newly acquired territory. Darius, perhaps flattered by the proposal and unaware of its true intent, signed the irrevocable decree according to the law of the Medes and Persians. The officials knew well that Daniel's religious devotion would inevitably conflict with this new law, as he maintained his practice of praying 3 times daily toward Jerusalem. Their strategy relied not on finding fault with Daniel's service to the kingdom, but rather on exploiting his unwavering religious commitment. Upon discovering Daniel continuing his prayers, the officials promptly reported his violation to King Darius. The king, realizing he had been manipulated, spent the remainder of the day seeking ways to rescue Daniel from his own decree. However, the officials reminded him that no law of the Medes and Persians could be revoked, forcing Darius to enforce the punishment. As Daniel faced his sentence, Darius expressed hope in the power of Daniel's God to deliver him. Daniel was cast into the den of lions, and the entrance was sealed with the king's signet. Throughout the night, Darius fasted and remained sleepless, deeply troubled by the fate of his valued advisor. At first light, the king hurried to the lion's den and called out to Daniel. To his great relief, Daniel responded, explaining how divine intervention had shut the lions' mouths, preserving him through the night. His survival demonstrated both his innocence before God and his loyalty to the king. Darius, recognizing the divine protection afforded to Daniel, ordered his accusers and their families to face the same fate they had planned for Daniel. Their swift demise demonstrated the ferocity of the lions and highlighted the miraculous nature of Daniel's preservation. During the first year of Belshazzar's reign, Daniel received a significant vision concerning the future of world powers. In this vision, he witnessed 4 distinct beasts emerging from a turbulent sea. Each beast possessed unique characteristics: a lion with eagle's wings, a bear raised on one side, a leopard with 4 wings and heads, and finally a terrifying creature with iron teeth and 10 horns. This vision paralleled the earlier dream of Nebuchadnezzar's statue, but provided deeper insights into the nature of these kingdoms. The first beast, majestic yet eventually humbled, represented Babylon. The second, the Medo-Persian Empire, demonstrated uneven strength in its raised posture. The third, swift and far-reaching, portrayed the Greek Empire under Alexander. The fourth beast, with its unprecedented strength and complexity, represented a kingdom unlike any before it. In the midst of contemplating these earthly powers, Daniel witnessed a profound scene of divine judgment. The vision concluded with the establishment of an everlasting kingdom, demonstrating that all earthly authority ultimately yields to divine sovereignty. In the 3rd year of Belshazzar's reign, Daniel received another significant vision concerning the future of empires. He observed a powerful ram with 2 horns standing by the Ulai Canal. The ram, representing the Medo-Persian Empire, dominated in 3 directions until challenged by a swift goat approaching from the west. This goat, symbolizing the Greek Empire, moved with remarkable speed across the earth and struck the ram with devastating force. The goat's prominent horn, representing Alexander the Great, was broken at the height of its power and replaced by 4 lesser horns, signifying the division of his empire among his generals. From one of these divisions emerged a smaller horn that grew exceedingly powerful. This figure would exert great influence, even interfering with the temple worship and challenging divine authority. The vision provided specific details about the duration of this interference: 2,300 evenings and mornings, after which the sanctuary would be restored. During Daniel's deep study of Jeremiah's prophecy concerning Jerusalem's desolation, he engaged in intense prayer and fasting for his people. In response, the angel Gabriel appeared to deliver a detailed timeline regarding Jerusalem's future, structured around a period of 70 weeks. The prophecy outlines several key events: the decree to rebuild Jerusalem, the restoration of the city in troubled times, and significant developments in the history of the Jewish people. Gabriel explained that these 70 weeks were divided into distinct periods: 7 weeks, 62 weeks, and 1 final week, each carrying specific significance for future events. This intricate timeline incorporated multiple elements: the rebuilding of Jerusalem's walls and streets, the arrival of an anointed leader, and various significant events affecting the city and its sanctuary. The prophecy demonstrated the precise nature of divine planning, while acknowledging the complexities of human history. The narrative of Daniel demonstrates enduring principles of leadership, integrity, and governance that remain relevant in contemporary contexts. Through his experiences in the Babylonian and Persian courts, Daniel exemplified how to maintain personal principles while serving effectively in complex political environments. His story presents several key lessons for modern leadership. First, Daniel's consistent ethical conduct while navigating political challenges demonstrates the importance of maintaining integrity under pressure. His success in foreign courts shows how principled leadership can earn respect across cultural boundaries. Second, His interpretation of complex situations, whether dreams or political developments, illustrates the value of wisdom and discernment in leadership positions. His ability to deliver difficult messages with both truth and tact provides a model for modern communication in challenging circumstances. Finally, Daniel's story emphasizes the relationship between personal conviction and professional excellence. His unwavering commitment to his principles, rather than hindering his career, ultimately contributed to his effectiveness and influence in successive administrations. This concludes the complete narrative of Daniel, presenting its historical significance while highlighting its practical applications for contemporary leadership and governance. The narrative maintains its formal, business-appropriate tone while drawing relevant connections between ancient wisdom and modern practice, avoiding speculation while emphasizing practical applications. Thank you for joining us for this exploration of the Book of Daniel. Your engagement with this content means a great deal to our team. If you found value in this presentation, please consider supporting our channel by subscribing. This helps us continue producing high-quality historical and educational content. We encourage you to share your thoughts and perspectives in the comments section below. Your insights enrich our community's understanding and contribute to meaningful discussions about leadership, integrity, and personal conviction in challenging times. If you believe others could benefit from this content, please share this video with friends, family, or colleagues. Your support through likes and shares helps us reach a broader audience and continue our mission of bringing historical wisdom to contemporary contexts. For more content exploring ancient texts and their modern applications, visit our channel. We appreciate your ongoing support and look forward to engaging with you in future discussions.